Ngayong parehong lagpas na ng isang taon ang dalawang smart lights na ito, I think it's interesting to see a side-by-side comparison to know which one really provides a better value for your money. Yun bang mas mahal at mas kilalang ENFITNIX XLITE 100 o itong lesser known brand at murang LEADBIKE LD75 Smart Light? But let me put it out here first that at this point, I can say both of these are already a good buy considering they are still working at this point. While both automatic lights have already passed their 1-year mark, in terms of the price, they offer such a very wide gap. In terms of the warranty, 3 months ang ibinibigay ng authorized distributor ng XLITE 100 na nabilhan ko, while yung sa LD75 naman ay walang warranty. Well, pareho silang sa Shopee binili. Idagdag na din natin na ang XLITE 100 ay may authorized dealers, so may peace of mind ka kahit paano na legit ang makukuha mo, while si LD75 naman ay wala. I've been researching about it at wala ako makitang official website or official seller nito. Sa Shopee ay ang daming sellers, and to be honest, I'm not even sure if meron ding imitation itong LD75 Smart Light. Right off the bat, let's do a side-by-side comparison. Both of them have already been turned on. They're just sitting there, idle, and once we touch the bike, we're expecting instant activation or blinking. Okay, so first, let's check the response time in terms of their motion detection coming from sleep to being awake. Or yung transition mula sa hindi pa nagbi-blink, then pag kinuha mo na ang bike para mag-ride ay magbi-blink na. Let's see kung meron bang mas mabilis sa kanila or kung sabay lang naman. It seems that the result is a little bit inconsistent. May mga times na nauuna si XLITE at may mga times naman na nauuna si LD75. But given a strong movement, we can see na halos sabay lang naman sila. Now we're gonna check the response time of the brake light. Which one between these two has a faster reaction time? Let's check that again. So in terms of the brake response ay same reaction time ulit. So walang nauuna sa kanila. And it's amazing na sabay na nagfa-function yung sensor even though magkaiba sila ng brand. Then what happens after the brake light is activated ay magre-resume into the normal blinking function ang smart lights after a few seconds. And again, sabay lang silang bumalik sa pagbiblink after a few seconds nga. At this point, we'll proceed with the vibration sensing. Ito yung kapag may significant movement na na-detect yung smart light ay magha-high beam ulit sila. For instance ay may lubak. As with the previous outcome, pareho lang ulit na sabay nag-high beam ang dalawang smart lights. Now we're just gonna show you the time interval between these two in terms of auto shut off. XLITE is supposed to deactivate the blinking function without any movement for 10 seconds. Obviously, it's true. Ayan nga at namatay na ang ilaw. On the other hand, LD75 would take 60 seconds without any movement to turn itself off. So, mas matagal siya. Now let's check the attributes of these lights during daytime. I-turn on na natin pareho and see what happens. Bigyan lang natin ng 1 minute or less. Without any motion, XLITE is supposed to turn off after 10 seconds, while LD75 is supposed to turn off after 60 seconds. However, this condition is only happening at night. Kapag araw, it's a different story. So, nauna ng 1 second mamatay ang ilaw ni XLITE versus LD75. And instead of 10 seconds ay almost instant mamatay ang ilaw. So, it looks like meron din palang daylight energy saving itong XLITE gaya ng LD75. However, mas matindi ang sunlight detection ni LD75. And as you can see, maski anong palo ay ayaw mag-on ng ilaw, whereas si XLITE ay isang palo lang at naka-on na agad. So, we observe for both smart lights na instant ang deactivation nila ng liwanag during daytime, unlike during nighttime na meron pang 10 seconds for XLITE and 60 seconds naman for LD75. For the brake sensing, sabay lang naman sila mag-activate. Ang XLITE ay may manual mode. Actually, let's explain how it works for the XLITE 100. So, meron siyang dalawang switch. Isang manual mode at isang automatic mode. The way you select between the two is via a tiny switch at the back of the light. Kapag naka-manual setting ka, ikaw ang mag-turn on and off ng ilaw.
Kapag naka-automatic setting naman, isang beses mo lang itong i-on, switching from the manual setting, and the rest ay yung sensor na mismo ng ilaw ang bahala sa lahat. In short, wala ng human intervention. Siyempre, hindi mo mata-turn off yan, and the only thing to do is don't move the bike for 10 seconds at kusa na yan mamamatay. So, if pinark mo na ang bike, ay mag-off na siya ng kusa as long as wala siyang ma-detect na movement for 10 seconds. Now, if you move the bike, ay automatic naman siyang mag-on. So, that's how the automatic setting works. The good thing about this XLITE is that both of these modes have the same blinking types and parehong nagpa-function ang brake sensing at vibration sensing. Now, with this LD75, wala siyang separate switch. Instead, ay part lang siya ng 6 modes nung mismong smart light. So, siya yung long on mode or also being referred to as always on mode. Since lagi siyang naka-on at since kailangan pindutin ng button every time ito turn on or off, we can say na ito na yung pinaka-manual mode. And once you open it, hindi din siya mag-off ng kusa whatever time of the day. As you can see, lagpas na ng 1 minute pero naka-on pa din siya. When normally, as with other modes, ay naka-off na dapat yan dahil 1 minute lang na walang movement ay auto-shut off na agad. So, if you need to use your blinker during daytime, manual mode ang piliin mo para hindi namamatay ng kusa. So let's compare both manual modes of these two smart lights. Well, as I mentioned, yung manual mode ng XLITE 100 ay may physical switch while yung sa LD75 naman ay wala and instead ay activated via selecting the always on mode. In summary, yung sa XLITE 100 kapag naka-manual mode ka ay makakapili ka pa ng 3 types of blinking while yung sa LD75 naman ay wala nang pagpipilian dahil lagi lang siyang naka-on ang ilaw mo or yung naka-steady on. In terms of the blinking types, lamang si LD75 dahil mas madami siyang variation. 6 yung kay LD at 3 naman yung sa XLITE. Ang XLITE 100 ay merong 30 lumens while the LEADBIKE LD75 has 60. This is still unverified as we could not find an official information about the lumens of LD75. And since we really can't verify this, kayo na ang bahalang humusga based sa video clip na ito. Though for me, mas naliliwanagan ako sa output ng LD75. Now let's go with the contents of the package. Both are fine, walang missing items. In short, ready to be installed na sila. Parehong may zip ties, user manual at charging cable at mounts. Since pareho naman silang may user manual which is good, ay may counting difference lang. Dito ay panalo si LD75 dahil simple lang ang manual nito at napaka-straightforward ng approach or mas madali intindihin. Not that it's really important for cyclists, but let me just stress it out here since we are comparing that its user manual is perfect in terms of the spelling and composition, unlike yung sa original XLITE 100 na may mga spelling errors. We already covered it in our previous videos, so if you want to check it out, we have placed the link in the description box. Mas stable ang mounting mechanism ng XLITE 100 dahil deroscas ito. Just looking at how it locks in place ay masasabi mong hindi talaga ito matatanggal sa pagkakakapit unless ma-lost thread na talaga. Stable naman ang locking mechanism ng LD75 pero between the two, mas ramdam mo talaga na safe ka with the mounting mechanism of XLITE. Ngayon naman ay sukatin natin kung sino sa kanila ang mas tatagal. Napaka-time consuming ng pagsukat ng duration since it took more than 12 hours. Kaya we'll just splice the video out to the important time frames to summarize it up. Pareho naman nilang pinagyayabang ang induction technology o ang pagiging intelligent light o yung pagkakaroon ng automatic features. Pareho namang tumagal ng more than a year and still working pa din, kaya okay na okay sila sa aspetong ito. However, given that they both serve their purpose, ay mapupunta tayo sa price unless you're big with the branding. For me, mas sulit ang LD75 dahil more than half ang price difference niya, mas lamang pa sa features. Kumbaga, between two lights that serve the same purpose and same level of durability, I would definitely go for the one with the lower price tag. Hindi naman nagkakalayo masyado sa design or other attributes, but to reiterate, both are good lights. Nagamit ko na for more than 12 months pareho, though I am still looking for another year para masabi ko na sulit ang XLITE dahil nga almost 800 ang pagkakabili ko nito from its authorized distributor. So as a final word, I have to go with the LEADBIKE LD75 Smart Taillight because it's still working fine up to this point with all the features working smoothly at mas maliwanag for a lot less than the price tag of XLITE 100. Plus, bonus pa yung madaming blinking variations at yung energy saving feature nito na sunlight detection. Thanks for watching. See you in our next video.